Lord, that's a lot.
Yeah. And significantly, Sam. So in a circle.
You got it down. Good.
Oh, right. Can you even put a microphone up here so I can hear you?
I will swing over that some way.
Okay,
You can.
It's okay, okay.
You can have your camera wherever you want.
Yeah, it's fine, okay. Appreciate it, thank you.
All right. Call the meeting order.
Yeah.
We'll start with our pledge of allegiance. I pledge
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all. Having read the minutes, I'll make a motion to accept the minutes as written.
I can second that.
We have a motion from Ruth and a second from Gary to approve the minutes. Any discussion? Hearing none,
Do we
all those in
need-
favor? What was that, Nathan?
Since I'm online, do we need to do roll call vote?
Did they change that or not?
I don't think they changed it.
All right, then we better do roll call.
All right. That, we can do roll call vote.
All right, Nathan,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye. So approval of the minutes passes, and we'll move on to approval of the vouchers.
Any signups?
Not seeing anything out of the ordinary, I'd look for approval of the vouchers.
I move that we accept the vouchers in the amount of $80,182.45.
I'll second.
Motion from Gary, second by Nathan. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
Nathan,
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
and Tony.
Aye. Motion passes. Correspondence, we had none this for this meeting. Citizen comments. We had one person sign up, Pete Radosevich.
I don't really have anything to say right now, but I thought because I was the holder of that beer and wine license for so long, I could provide a little perspective to the board when you got to that position. I think you guys aren't doing public comments on each part anymore, so if you want me to address it now, I could, or I could wait till then.
You can wait. You need to say that.
All right, well, we'll wait on the citizen comment until old business. We'll start off old business with a legal RFP. I think before we talk about our legal RFP, we should accept the resignation of our town attorney.
With regret and thanks for Dave Pritchett's years of service, I'll make a motion that we accept his retirement as of the end of May.
I'll second that.
I
motion.
will.
Okay, we have a motion by Ruth and a second from Gary to accept the resignation from Dave Pritchett. And any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
All right, we'll start with Nathan again.
Aye, regretfully.
All right, Gary,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
and Tony.
Aye. All right, so then with legal RFP, we had a interview with Corey Rupp, is it pronounced? Or
Yeah, Rupee.
Corey Rupee, law firm. They represent a large amount of townships and small cities in the state of Minnesota. We were very happy with what we heard from Mike when he was here. And I guess I would look for a motion to make them our new township attorney.
I'll make a motion
make-
to accept Corey Rupp as our new attorney.
second.
Sorry, Nathan.
No, you're good. I got a delay.
Yep, so we have a motion from Ruth and a second from Nathan. Any discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
All right, Nathan, you're up first.
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
and Tony.
Aye. All right, moving on to Hockey Town liquor license renewal. And Pete, I believe this is where you wanted to have your 2 minutes.
Well, I thought it might be easier for me to provide some perspective if you needed it, but if you don't, there's no. So
Well-
whatever you tell me to do is what I'll
Why
do,
don't we-
Tony.
I think things that our new attorney is not here or on TV. Ruth had a suggestion.
Because we don't have legal counsel, and I do have a little bit of a question mark, I would like to postpone this, table this issue. And Logan was the instigator of what's going on, and he isn't here tonight. So I'm making the motion to, because we don't have legal counsel, table this till our next meeting.
Is that your motion?
That's my motion.
I can second that motion.
So we have a motion from Ruth and a second from Gary to table this till our next meeting. We have our attorney present. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
All right, Nathan.
No.
What was that?
No.
No, okay. Gary,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
Tony.
Aye. So we will revisit that in 2 weeks. And moving on to new business.
And Mr.
Josh?
Chair?
Yeah.
Well, I don't think I can be here in 2 weeks, so maybe I should give you my spiel
Okay,
now.
yep, you're on the sheet, so
Okay.
you bet.
What I wanted you guys to know is that Ruth especially, you know, when we first got that liquor license, that beer and wine license at Eskimo Pies years and years ago, the town put a bunch of conditions on it, similar to the conditions that you put on when Raphael and his group started to put on Tequila Town. The name of the sign and the original condition was that there not be branded liquor and beer stuff in the windows that were viewable, which is perfectly reasonable. But the thing I think you need to remember is that after about 2 or 3 years, there were conditions that you didn't serve till 4, didn't serve after 10. After a couple, 2 or 3 years, you dropped all those conditions. And for the next 12 or 13 years that I had that license, there weren't any of those conditions at all. And so, because I think you guys only deal with a beer and wine license 3 times, myself, Mike Pracker, and now Raphael and these guys, you don't remember those details, but I do because it affected me. So when these guys got to town and asked me about the beer and wine license, I told them to come up here. Nobody had a protocol that you couldn't do this, you couldn't do that. So you really did invent it the first time when you gave them their license a year ago. And what I can point out that I think it's good to remember is that this is not a bar. It's a Mexican restaurant. And what they're trying to accomplish here is to have a few drinks that people have with their meals, not to turn it into any kind of a bar or promotion. And if you remember, Raphael, the owner, was here last time. He's like, sure, whatever you guys want, whatever you want. He just wants to cook and feed people. But I noticed on your agenda, you said Tiki Town license, and that's just not the name of the restaurant. It's Tequila Town.
Correct.
And yeah, and so all they want to do is be able to put their name of their town, their region on their sign. And I'm hoping that the board considers that to be a reasonable request when the time comes.
Thank you.
Okay,
Thanks, you guys.
thanks, Pete. Gary, any other discussion?
Well, I was actually gonna ask Pete a question, but you disappeared too quickly.
Sorry.
That's okay. As I was not a board member at the time, that's what you were just explaining is a little bit new to me. That the restrictions that were in place as a result of your getting the original liquor license, correct? And those restrictions at the time were placed based on your pizza place?
And it was, there'd never been one, off-sale license in Esko before. We didn't apply for one until the town board gave a off-sale liquor license to the liquor store. People had asked me for years and I thought, well, we don't want liquor in Esko. I'm not going to be the first one to do it, but I applied for it after the liquor store came to town. And it always went fairly smoothly. But I remember, at the third year when I was here to renew it, and I just can't remember if our, Rhonda, when I was saying, addressing the board, I was saying, well, you know, we're open till midnight and some people want to drink after 10 o'clock. And I was saying a couple of things. And Ronnie interrupted, said, no, I don't think you saw the proposal. We dropped all those. I mean, you guys didn't do it because I asked. You did it because they were a little overbearing. It wasn't necessary. Alcohol's never been a problem down there. And these people, the Mexicans, as I call them, they're just great people. They work hard. They've got a good attitude. They serve good food. They've got good service. Everything we want in this town. They aren't trying to push their alcohol. So I just thought it would be important for the board to realize that for 12 years while I had the place down there weren't these restrictions. There were some, no signs in the windows, and a couple of others, but overall, they had dropped those restrictions because they just weren't necessary.
They dropped without advising you?
I didn't tell you. Rhonda told me at a board meeting when I was pleading for some change, and Rhonda's like, "You didn't read it, did you, Pete? We dropped all those already. We don't have to do anything." And there's never been a problem down there. So
Yeah, we'll do some verification because the owners after you, they also had restrictions on the signage. So we'll just do a little bit more research.
Of course.
before we bring it back to the board.
thanks, Ruth.
Yeah.
Anything else?
Any other questions?
Thanks, Pete.
Oh, yeah, welcome. Thanks, Gary.
Like I said, we'll table, revisit in 2 weeks. Hopefully we have a full board and an attorney present. So moving on to new business, Josh, you're up with calcium chloride quotes.
Okay, I presented the quotes here for you guys to overlook and see. Yeah, so I presented the quotes here for you guys to see up there and we've had good luck with the lower bid, Knife River. I'd like to go with them again. With your approval.
Yeah, very good.
Then since we're discussing this, we have quite a few projects coming up this summer and we are gonna need an excavator. And I'd like to get our name on one here before they kind of disappear, because there's a lot of projects going on Duluth for that lead lining and that lead line removal and stuff, so. I think it would be best to go with the John Deere, because that machine, our backhoe attachments will fit on that, so it's all interchangeable. We won't have to get any extra buckets or anything.
That's a nicer price.
So with your guys' approval, I'd like to,
Yeah, we talked about that in the work session, if you remember.
Correct. We just.
So, yeah, we'll need a motion to go ahead. We'll do 2 motions, one for the chloride, one for the, I don't know if we have to do one for the excavator rental.
Probably not. We haven't.
I think for the chloride, we should though.
You went with Knife River?
yes.
Go
I
ahead.
would move that we accept Josh's request for Knife River as the provider for the calcium chloride.
Second.
We have a motion from Gary, a second from Nathan to go ahead with Knife River for our calcium chloride. Any other discussion? Hearing none, we'll do a roll call vote.
All right, Nathan, Gary,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye.
We don't need a motion for the rental.
I don't think so. Josh, that's just a regular budget item that'll just come out of
Okay.
the fund, so
All right,
that's so.
okay, sounds good, thank you.
Next, under new business, janitor, building maintenance.
I think that is my bullet point, or our bullet point, if you will. I think if we think back on when we started having some discussions with our current janitor, he was looking to get a increase in his hourly rate from 16 something to 18 and, or to more. And we came to offer him $18 an hour. He's accepted that. We've had a number of discussions. This started like in mid-March, if I'm not mistaken. And the last conversation I had with him was about 2 weeks ago. And he agreed that he would accept that $18 with no restrictions and everything. And I told him that we would go ahead and bring that to the board and make it effective with the payroll period starting on the 11th of May. So I guess I'm just looking for a motion to approve that. It doesn't, and we've got some procedural things that have to get done, but it doesn't impact his payroll at all and the hours that he's currently working.
Okay, so we have a motion from Gary to increase the pay for the janitor building maintenance to, was it just a straight?
Straight 18.
$18 an hour. Do we have a second?
I'll second that.
Any other discussion? Hearing none, let's say we do roll call vote.
Nathan.
Aye.
Gary,
Aye.
Ruth,
Aye.
Tony,
Aye. Good, glad he's staying.
Yeah.
All right, moving on to fire apparatus repair. Kyle, what do you got?
So Monday night, received a call while some of our firefighters were doing truck checks. And they thought they had a cabinet door closed. The gas shocks opened the cabinet door back up and they left the station with the door open, which ripped the door off the side of the truck and damaged the building. I've reached out to Missy at Arrowhead Insurance Company, Waller Insurance, to inform her of the accident. It is 2 separate claims. The truck claim is one and the building claim is a second. I did have Tiffany check. We do have $1,000 deductible on each one. As a business owner, I don't use insurance for maintenance things. I mean, small claims. I use them for larger claims. The truck claim came in. I sent photos out to the manufacturer of the truck in Marion, Wisconsin. Their bid came back. If there's no damage to the hydraulic ladder rack, which we don't believe there is, the repair came back in at $8,800. I actually didn't think that was bad. I thought it was going to be worse. The building, I've had one contractor look at it, and I'm not going to give an estimate, but he doesn't believe it's as severe as that. I did check with local body shops today, because the door has to be refabricated. I think it's still going to be in our best interest to go back to the manufacturer in Marion, Wisconsin. But Tony and I did have a couple of text messages back and forth. I checked with some local body shops, which will not touch it. But Jeff Foster over in Superior does have a collision center. I did reach out to them. The truck would have to go there for their view. So I'm going to try in the next few days or so to get it down there. The truck is totally usable. It's not pretty, but it is totally usable. So we're going to continue to use it in the meantime. But I guess it's my question to you is, do we want to have these as 2 separate claims, or do we want to wait until all of the estimates come back in and determine whether or not we want to do a building claim, and a truck claim.
I don't know, what's the best route to go?
Well, I think we should keep it separate because the building is probably not gonna be an
So
insurance
they
claim.
have to be separate, just,
Yeah.
yeah.
Oh,
But
then
I
what was
got,
your question?
my question is once we get the estimates back, are we going to want to turn both of these estimates in separately? For the building and the truck, or if we're gonna want to just pay to have the building repaired and turn in the truck? That's
So
my question.
basically take the money to fix the building out of our own funds, not do an insurance claim on it. That's what
But
he's saying.
wait till we get
Yeah,
estimates.
wait till we get the bid
Yeah.
Okay, yeah, we'll wait till we get estimates and then make it. I'm
determination. Yeah.
Because if it's just a couple $1,000s or
Right.
something.
It's not worth
Why
putting it
do
on a
it?
claim.
right.
From a business standpoint, in my business, I don't turn in small stuff like that.
So let's wait till we
Right.
get a price from Foster.
Missy's holding on to both of these right now until I told her I had a chance to bring it up to the board. So they have not gone anywhere. They're dated, noted, and timed, but that's all we have to do currently.
All right, thank you. We'll look for updates on that. Moving on to personnel reports. Leah,
I got nothing.
you're good? Kyle, you got anything else?
Just last weekend, Esko Fire, went to the memorial service for Chief Hundine down in Barnum. And we did, cover Mattawa's medical calls for a 4-hour period for them, along with our staff that we had here. I think that's it really for the time being. So just informational that we helped to cover a memorial service last weekend.
Yeah, thank you for doing that. All right, Josh?
I got a few things here. I'm gonna start out with, lift station 4. We had some tests done on it last week and we noticed there's a bunch of surgical gloves in that wet well. So we had that cleaned out and then in the process just cleaned the whole thing, but, checked again and they are back in there. So a couple of the crew went out this morning and kind of went manhole to manhole, upstream to see where they could access them, if they could see any traces of them on certain parts of that area. And they didn't find nothing, but the problem is a bunch of those other manholes are buried in the dirt road on Wagon and Wildwood, so I'm gonna work with Leah and we're gonna get a letter sent out to the residences there. We did check one of the businesses that is tied into that, where there was a possibility they came from there and they are not coming from there, so we gotta figure, it's a resident that I know of pushing them. And so we need to figure that out because they could damage our pumps and
Sure.
it could be very costly.
There's no evidence up line where they're coming from?
Not that we can see, we looked in a few manholes that we can access, but like I said, there's quite a few towards by that lift station that are in the dirt road bed. They're about a foot below the road, so we have to dig them up to access them.
Can you use a camera in this in a cheap way?
Yeah, well, that's something I would have to speak with Nathan about. That could be costly too, but
Yeah.
I'd like to get a letter out to the residents saying that we're gonna start looking where these are coming from.
That's a good idea.
Yeah.
Yeah, let's get a letter out to the people in that area.
And, road crew, we are heavily into changing culverts right now, and next week we have some rain coming, so we're kind of see what happens with that, but, we're gonna start hauling gravel for, some of our dirt roads, prep them, get them ready for chloride. And my plan is to, around the beginning of July, get a chloride truck out and get our roads done. I've been working with Nathan and Will over on the Randall project. That's coming together nicely. And I'm sure Nathan will add to that, as we continue here. And then, Will and I, while I was over there, we went over and looked at 36 Flynn. Resident has a township culvert running through his backyard, and then that goes into the Midway River. There's a catch basin there where that kind of drains. There's a sinkhole in his yard that's getting significantly bigger, and I want to take care of that this summer. So I'm working with, a couple contractors to see how we can fix that. Will's also looking, and with Nathan, we're trying to look and see if we can line part of the culvert because it goes right next to his garage. So, and I did talk to the homeowner next door. He has a whole bunch of trees. He said those can come down, but he's not quite sure if he's capable of doing it. So I will have to work on trying to figure that into this bid. And I don't know if the township could possibly do it. I do not believe there's an easement for this culvert, so I'd like to sit down with Dan and our new attorney and figure that out. Cause there probably should be one there.
Should be, yeah.
I'm glad you're working on that. He's been very patient.
It's been in the back of my mind and it's just every time we try to get to it, it doesn't happen and it's in a
not-
bad spot where the township, with our equipment, we can't do it.
Yeah,
Our
no,
hands are
I'm not
full.
saying anything against you, Josh. Don't get me.
No, I understand that. I wish we could do it, but it's just, and then our, being short staffed, we're busy in other directions. For quite a few years now, for our bridge inspections, I've been getting a few things. The counties, a lot of our guardrails on our bridges are not compliant and need to be fixed. So I've been reaching out to a few places starting today and then next week, we're gonna have to figure out a budget here to replace our guardrails on our bridges. And the companies that do it aren't local. We don't have the equipment to do it, so it'd probably be the cheapest to have them all done at once.
Right, do 'em
I
all
was
at
kind of
once.
hoping maybe we could do like one a year or something, but I don't think it'll be feasible with, these companies not being local.
Right.
Makes sense.
But hopefully next meeting, I'll have some more information on that and bring it forward.
Okay.
And that is it.
I only
All right.
say that with 36 Flynn because it's been a few years, not since your term, but way before that we've been looking at that sinkhole and it's not going away.
Why they didn't put a different type of culvert there, I do not know.
Many years ago.
It should have been a concrete or some kind of other than steel, because your average aluminum culvert or galvanized culvert, it'd be 30, 40 years, maybe 50 if it's in a dry area,
Right.
life expectancy.
Yeah. All right, that's it for personnel reports. Before we move on to board reports, I see Jerry's here.
Oh, good evening.
Any words of wisdom from the school?
The end of school is upon us. Last Friday night, we graduated 106 students, including 8 valedictorians and 1 salutatorian. Scholarships and stuff, again, topped over $1 million for our students. So I think things are going very, very well. Today was the last half day of school for the kids. So as people drive around, we want them to make sure that they look out for the summer vacationing students that we have. We did hire a new superintendent, Greg Hexum, who was the high school principal, moved into the superintendent position. That'll be as of July 1st. We'll be interviewing for a high school principal very, very soon, and hopefully we'll get that person on board. We also had turnover in community education. Michelle Carlson, the director there, turned in her resignation, and we do have a new person that is taking that position also. As of today, this afternoon, we have 2 teachers to replace, and we'll probably put in 1 more special education teacher in this coming year. So things are wrapping up pretty well, and now Tony's job will start in getting the school ready again for the day after Labor Day.
Absolutely. Okay, thanks, Jerry. Move on to reports from board members. Nathan.
Tony.
No, you don't
who did I-
forget.
Oh, okay, let's go with this Nathan then.
Yeah,
I got a few things to talk
Okay,
about.
good report.
It's been a busy month with us here, working on township stuff. So I just wanted to put, the funding back out in front of us. we did get, state bonding, but we're still on the list for federal, congressionally directed spending. So, we're still hoping for a federal appropriations bill where we can, Stauber can have put this project, or, you know, the township in on that. So our team, as the dominoes start to fall in place, I think we're gonna be thinking through the projects that the township has and what might be the hardest ones to do on your own versus, you know, easier ones to do on your own, you know, with just township funds, trying to maximize the township's, funds through the grants. So we're gonna be thinking about that as these are all falling in place. We had met with Josh, and I've got a list here, Tony, I'll give it to you, and if any board members want, on, I think like the 5 worst roads that we might be looking at for, so we're putting costs together on these ones, but if anybody has any other suggestions, I'd like to get all the roads and costs, you know, side by side, so the board can consider them for, you know, whether we do them in 2027 or, you know, in subsequent years.
Yeah, because we need to get our list of what we want to pay to the county soon.
Yep.
For 2027.
Yep.
When they're gonna be here anyway.
Yep. Yep.
I would be interested in looking at what roads you're looking at some point.
Yep, I've got those here, so I'll come hand them off after this. With our exceedance report for WSSD, we responded to that. We did complete smoke testing, and Will is working on preparing a report. I had sent a little board update, I sent a couple pictures. There's a couple clean outs that they found having, you know, smoke shooting out of them. And so it wasn't a lot of bad things they found, but they did find sources of I&I. So after that, I think we're gonna have to work on notices to residents for corrections. And then it sounds like there's a lot of manhole lids that are leaky. So we'll have to see what we want to do on those. And see how much life is left in the sewer too. So, Riverbend, I've been working pretty extensively on Riverbend with their engineer, Warren White. The big thing is, Josh Evans had done the sanitary sewer in the road, and then it was a decent handoff point for me to jump in on stormwater that I have quite a bit of experience with. So, the ponds have been a lot of back and forth, coaching them into having a pond system. That's something the township would even consider taking over. I had been working with Dan and Dave on the idea of potentially having a homeowners association maintain those ponds. Because as you see, you know, all these pond systems are 40, 50 years old in the township, and they're all starting to need bank replacements. And so just a consideration we put out there. When we were smoke testing, we smoke tested in that area, and we found even the brand new manholes were contributing I&I. So that's one of the last things that Josh had signed off on the pipe, but I don't think any testing was ever done on the manholes. So that's something we're gonna be looking at.
Right.
That's Josh, the other Josh.
Yeah. Figured that.
So, but it's getting very close where, I've been trying to push on the developers agreement push it into everybody else's court. You know, we're gonna need the developers agreement pretty quick. We're gonna need that, the meeting with planning and zoning. So the construction is starting to wrap up.
So when you say pretty quick, are you talking about the month of June yet?
I don't think that they'll have everything done in the month of June. I think enough construction's been done where we could consider warranty work and move forward with the developers agreement. But in my experience, I'd say the developers agreement should come first. And then once that's ready to go, you can come and do your final plat.
So we learned a little bit last week when we interviewed with Mike Curry.
I heard about that.
Have you had an opportunity to talk with him at all?
I have not.
Okay, and I'll just suggest that you do, because he says they have boilerplate agreements that, you don't have to create anything new. And he's done several,
Hundreds.
thousands of development. So I would strongly, before you get a final copy, talk to him because he's got some really good ideas.
Yeah, I hadn't been really involved in the developers
Right.
agreement other than just saying, yep, I think this stuff is done, that stuff isn't. So I'll hopefully still rely on Mike to do that, but but I would, had been working with Dave to try and get him to get that. So now Mike got all over it. So. And then Randall Ave, I was a little late because I was talking to Sharon. She's pretty happy with everything out there, so her stamp of approvals.
You're the one that brought you guys treats?
Yeah, yeah, yeah. She's the one who, she at one point was like, oh, the project's not going well. And then it was, it's like Sharon, and brought it up again and she's like, oh yeah, no, it's going great. So, but the paving is complete. The thing that I'm gonna be bringing to a subsequent board meeting, just if the board recalls, AE2S had designed and bid this, and then I took over for construction management. I don't think any engineer would probably ever do that, except for our relationship we have with AE2S. But their contract is different than the contracts I would write, and everything's been going great, but we're getting now to the end where, there's two quantities that they put on that are different than what was estimated, and that's asphalt and class 5. So I'm working with them on those, but where I would normally have the ability to protect you through the contract, it's not my contract. So it's I'm working with them, but I'll bring the closeout paperwork here in one of the subsequent meetings, but just to put a bug in your ear, when you pay for asphalt by the ton, you have to convert it from, on the design, you have to convert it from an area into a weight. Well, with the better mixes that we have with bigger rocks in it, the weight of those mixes is heavier, per volume. So when you're estimating, you have to kind of know the weight of the mix that they're actually going to use versus, just a generic weight. So, just it's the little things like that where, again, if I had my own controls from the start, it'd probably be a little bit different, but I'll be bringing something to the board.
Can't wait.
Right.
That's it.
Thanks, Nate. Now we can move on to reports from board members and Nathan.
Nathan covered it a little bit, but I've also been in contact with Stauber's office. I talked to them this morning, and they informed me that we have a $700,000 appropriation from them included in the text of their appropriations bill. Now that still needs to pass through the appropriations committee, still needs to go through the House, the Senate, and be signed into law. So it's a ways forward, but we're moving in the right direction. And I'm sure all of you have now seen the letter that Chief Buse sent over from the Cloquet Area Fire District about a potential JPA for an aerial apparatus. So we've got some time now to look over that, and if Kyle's still there, I plan on calling you within the next couple days here. I've been super busy, but I'll find some time because I'd like to talk to you about that, and hopefully at our next meeting we can have a longer discussion.
Sounds good. Thank you. Gary?
Nathan's always a hard act to follow, I'll tell you. I don't have a lot to report on or discuss, but interestingly enough, just today I heard some more on replacing the swings in the Northridge Park, and I've got finally a final contact, or I think I've got where we can get the actual swings, and I'll know more tomorrow. But it's a small thing. You'd think this would be an easy, simple little, call somebody up and say, I want 3 swing sets. Can you send them to me? But it isn't that. It's more complicated.
Especially with that swing set, because that's an old swing set, so it's longer chains than your typical one.
Yeah, it might
So
be.
you have to make sure that you're getting long enough.
Yeah.
Or you're gonna get these new swings that are gonna be 6 feet off the ground.
Yeah. Anyway, it's one of those, they want pictures and measurements and stuff, and
Yeah.
it's like, I just want chain. It's a silly thing, but, so I've been working on that a little bit, and beyond that, I don't think I have anything else to report.
Gary, can I speak up? The crew was over there looking at chains and they had measured them, so they went to L&M to see if they could get chain, but they are out of the chain we need. So do you want us to continue with that, or do you want to look into?
Why don't we hold off on that, because I think we're gonna end up just getting some, it's likely coated chain if I'm not.
That's fine, yeah, because we had like a second today to do something, and I said, go look at those swings,
Yeah,
so.
I appreciate that very
Yeah,
much, Josh, but, yeah, let's appreciate the effort.
Okay,
We'll see where this takes us, and maybe by next week we'll have an actual order in place.
okay.
Thanks for doing that.
Yep.
Ruth,
Okay, since I'm the liaison for the recycle shed, I know Irene is gonna be out for some medical. So I'm just curious as to who we're gonna replace her with, and if we're hiring somebody. And because that is a union position, are we required to hire a union person, or it'll be, temporary, but just questioning.
being said it's temporary, I don't think we'll actually hire a union person to fill it, as long as our union people are okay with it. I think we'll just fill it with, Bill Gerard said he's available a couple days, and we can,
Are we
after
gonna
on some
take-
of our contacts.
Are we gonna take volunteers, or are we gonna actually hire somebody?
Well, I think they should be paid.
Well, yeah, they'd be paid. Well, Bill hasn't been
Okay,
when he comes, which, hit and miss. Right now, his time is different, but, he's done it on a volunteer basis.
oh, well, I know that, Tiffany and Leah had a couple ideas of some people that might be willing to do it, so maybe as a personnel site, since that's you two, maybe you could just pop into the office and talk to them about it. But I don't think we should, by the time we advertise and hire someone officially, Irene will be back.
Do we know that for sure?
Well, I think so. Do we know?
We hope so, but,
Our plan is to come back.
Her plan is, yeah,
Right.
I heard her
Her
plan
plan
is
is-
2 weeks, yeah.
she'd be out for 2 weeks, so.
Yeah.
Yeah. Can't hire someone. We can't even post it.
Yeah, well, that's true.
Yeah.
All right. I just wanted to, find out.
Yeah, I think they have a couple ideas that will cover it, so.
Okay. All right. I was unaware of that. So thank you.
Good question. I mean, we can always, like we talked about before too, is we can always just open it.
Right.
And then
It doesn't have to
It
be
doesn't
manned.
have to be manned, but it is nice to have someone there to
Right.
keep track of things. So,
Because we're one of the
question.
few that is actually
Right.
manned.
Anything else?
That's it for right now. Other than it was a good time to listen to Mike Curry last week.
Right?
Got a lot of very good information,
Right.
and we'll see where that
Very knowledgeable in township law. For
goes.
sure.
Yep.
Well, I have nothing else. Tiffany?
Nothing new.
All right. Look for a motion to adjourn.
I so move.
I so second.
Motion from Gary, a second from Ruth. We'll do roll call vote.
Nathan?
Aye.
Gary?
I.
Ruth?
I,
Tony?
All right.
there we are.
Very good.
Your list of roads.
Mr. Rhodes.
Ah.
Don't mind Will's,